Hi, my name is Yolanda, and oh my god, this jacket is super sparkly. Hi, my name is Yolanda, and welcome back to my channel where we talk about everything Sex in the City. I'm gonna have to take this jacket off because it is just entirely too brilliant. But I just wanted to have this on to say Happy New Year to everyone. Okay, now that the celebration is over, let's get to talking about and just like that, 10 things I took away from the episode. Hot takes. The show is hard to watch, but it's getting better. Now that I have finished watching all of the episodes of Sex in the City and both movies, that second movie, it tried my soul. Tried my soul. We are going to get into, and just like that, episode 5. Something that I've come to a realization. This is a bonus observation. None of the seasons get started before episode 4. You find yourself wondering, why am I watching this? Why do I care? From here on end, things get better. And they have gotten better for this episode. So these are my 10 takeaways I would love to discuss. Please like, comment, subscribe to the channel. And just like that, Tragically Hip, episode 5, we start with Seema and Carrie. Why do they have Carrie dressed that way? But that's not my observation. For number 1, new friends see something and have a tendency to say something when they see something wrong with us. When Carrie said she cemented her friendship with Seema, I see the true fruits of friendship showing there. And you know what? She has an Indian friend, and race has nothing to do with it. They seem to get along in the way. It is not one of my points, but it seems like an organic relationship. I like it. Doesn't it seem like the colored people are not doing enough in this episode, and then again, doing entirely too damn much? They're so damn helpful. Number 2, hip as a verb, an adjective, or a noun. I've seen a lot of people complaining online talking about, oh, like they are really grinding my gears with this talk of being old. Age as an issue. We are in the age of all feeling old now. that is where we are, because I hear the youngster talking about broken body parts. I know from my life, I'm in my 40s. I feel broken. I, for the first time in my life, had a lower leg injury. I'm a runner in real life, and I hurt my leg, and I was like, oh, it's all over for me. Take me out. I am sawbones now. I complain about every snap, crackle, and pop in my body, and I hear the young ones, the Gen Zs, are starting to complain about how everything feels old right now. So I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it from everybody talking about, like, they shouldn't be complaining about hearing loss and their hips and their back and everything else like that, because we're all old. It's 2022 and everybody is old. We're all over our little aches, pains, grievances, and gripes. 3, Anthony at that lunch. And this hit me. This hit me really, really hard, because it is a conundrum that I find myself in. When I work hard at it, I'm entertaining and fun to be around. But I always feel that I have to be of service in order to be valuable as a friend. You know, when we talk about friendships and love and how those things play out, they're supposed to be altruistic. But I find myself a lot of times not wanting to be in debt to anyone, and 2, needing to perform like Anthony does at that table in order to keep my friends engaged. Now, I know that my true friends, the people that I've known for decades, do not require this of me, but it is something that I struggle with, because I was a shy kid and I was quiet, and a lot of times people equate that with boring. And in order to keep my friends, sometimes I felt like I did have to perform and bring it each and every time I was in their presence in order to be social. So that hit me right here, because I'm wondering, maybe this is the call out to the community. How do you function in your groups? Is it natural and organic, or do you feel that in order to be accepted? And I know that I've felt this deeply, and I'm not ashamed of it. It's just something that I have to be aware of not having to perform or do acts of duty or service in order to carry my weight in a friend group. 4, rock to rose. I get it. I get the struggle. I get the conflicting information out there. I get the pride that goes into thinking one way about the world and having that worldview challenged by your offspring. Been there, done that. Can write a memoir about it. But the one thing I don't see here is Charlotte talking to her child. A lot of this would be like, if your child communicates in TikToks, watch the TikToks. I don't quite understand that. But as I said before, struggles in communication, I'm listening, I'm looking, I'm observing for all of those things. And as a parent, it crushes my soul that no one is talking to the child. Instead, they are talking about the child, and maybe that is what the problem is and not what the issue is of being mislabeled or misunderstood or, any of that. No one's talking to Rose about their disposition. I just wish, and maybe this is development, like maybe there's some stretch and some growth in these characters. That's what I would have liked to see from the episode. Not resolution per se, because it is a point of conflict, and this could last for years. I did not know that Rose was a child of 12 years old. I did not know that they were that young. Knowing now that they are that young, this is not something that you're going to resolve anytime soon. You can let it simmer. You can even let it boil over. But somebody please talk to their children. We're spending all this time together, but especially with quarantine, and you don't know, come on now. The book that Miranda assumes that Charlotte gives her. Quit Like a Woman, How to Make the Radical Choice to Stop Drinking. Now, in this episode, we see the drinking affect Miranda in several ways. The pushback from, I don't have a problem, right? This is, having worked in these spaces, addicts will tell you their stories of how they push back against the observation of someone else that they may or may not have a problem, and that they have to hit bottom in order to do that. I wonder what that bottom looks like. I don't think we've gotten there with this episode. Hopefully we haven't, because if we have, I'm really, really going to be upset. But also thinking and having a conversation as a nation about our drinking, exactly what is problematic drinking. I like what they did, throughout the episodes, that problematic drinking can look like a lot of things, and it has degrees, and that there's a tie-in to these rambunctious, outspoken Karens and the amount that they drink and or might choose other drugs to get by the day. I would love to explore that struggle a little bit more. 6. Okay, Sex and the City used to be funny. There were laugh out loud moments. Even the show has not aged well. There are some terrible, terrible things that you will see if you go back throughout the series. I'll talk about it. The missed opportunity with the toilet humor. She spends half this episode, Carrie spends half this episode being helped to and fro in the bathroom, having accidents, doing the most pee. You're telling me you couldn't make pee funny? Come on, y'all. Come on. I am so angry with the writers and their lack of timing. I'm not a comedian. I've never done comedic writing in my life, so I can't tell people how to write funny. But number 7, Cheryl Taché. I loved everything about the conversation that Miranda and Shay had about going from Cheryl to Shay and living one's life in that way. I wish it wasn't done in exposition. I wish Shay were funnier. Of me expecting them to be funny if they had written the joke a little differently. My dad woke up when he heard diverticulitis and said, there is a medical explanation for what is going on there. That would have been funny. Instead, you have to do a few leaps to get from diverticulitis to diverticulitis and fill in the gaps it's a little much. I watched the episode twice, and it took me the second time to understand what the joke was supposed to be. I wouldn't know which one of their parents would have had the accent, but it could have been an accented English type of thing where dad heard one thing and it was another. It could have been so funny. It would have landed. We would have all understood it. You would have had me. It fell flat because it wasn't written well, and I'm actually a huge fan of the writer. She's funny. Samantha Irving is funny, but for whatever reason, I don't know in how it gets lost in translation that Shay is not as funny as they should be. I'm really, really upset about that. Okay, number 8, we're gonna stay with Shay and Miranda. Finally, we get a sex scene worth talking about. It was actually sexy. At my great big age, I'm still questioning. Like, I don't know where I am. I was like, okay, I see the chemistry between these two. Now, how they met and how they ended up getting to where they were, I'm still salty about that. I'm sorry, you are not going to do some racially charged BS with me, and then like 5 seconds later, once my authority is established, Carrie's boss, we're besties, it's all water under the bridge. Come on now, we're not doing that. But, I have less grace and less friends, so it could be that. But very few people of a different hue or orientation would let any of that pass. Not like that. I love almost everything about this. Okay, so we're going to number 9. Why did it have to be in Carrie's apartment? That was entirely, like, Carrie, most of the time, I can take an oppositional pose to Carrie's sensitivities and histrionics and ridiculousness when it comes to this type of thing. What you're not going to do is come to my apartment to nurse me and to take care of me and then disrespect my apartment at the same time. We all know that for someone who writes about sex and who talks about sex and uses her friends' love lives as part of her column and I guess now podcast, Carrie's always been weird about talking out loud about sex. This was established in the first episode, but this is a running theme all the way back to the original series. And just like that, Carrie is like the prude of all prudes when it comes to sex. But if you know that about your friend, why would you do that in her apartment? That's rude. The marijuana, Carrie, wasn't Carrie the one that was busted sometime in season 5 for smoking pot on a street corner? Miranda saved her bacon. We don't talk about that, but there's a time, place, reason, and season for everything. Miranda was in the wrong, but I don't think it had anything to do with the drinks. I think, listen, if you're lonely and you're bodily lonely, I can see how one gets carried away like that. The alcohol does not help. It exacerbates an inappropriate thing with an inappropriate person, because mentioning that, hey, this is Carrie's boss, like other people's relationships are at stake here. I like it, but I don't like it as Miranda's rock bottom. That's not what rock bottom looks like. I'm wondering if we're going to get there in this season. And last but not least, outfit of the episode. That stunning sequin dress. I am mirroring that with my stunning sequin blazer. For New Year's, that's my holiday. That is my holiday get up. That dress is timeless. I haven't looked it up yet. It's the holidays. Life happens. I want a statement piece like that for my wardrobe. Where are we going in that sequin dress 3 months later after we got the rehab? I don't know, but I would rather do an episode revolving around Carrie wearing that dress somewhere than anything else. I want to know. Anyway, the season has gotten better. The writing has gotten a little better. Episode 4 was better than episode 3. Episode 5 was better than all of the episodes put together. Some of what we love about Sex and the City showed up in Just Like That, and hopefully they keep this rhythm a little better. The season was rocky from the start, but patterns. I'm a pattern person. All Sex and the City seasons, including the entire first season, in my humble opinion, are trash. So the season starts cooking around episode 5, but there are only 10 episodes in this season. So do we think it's going to get better? Do you think it's going to go down the drain? Are we going to still be talking about this? Will there be another season? Yes, there will be another season. Is Sam coming back? Questions. I have questions. Please, let's talk about it in the comments. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you shortly with another video. Thank you for spending this time with me.